It sucked. The weather, the people, the situation. Everything sucked. Vine tried her best to keep herself standing on her feet as she waited by the bus stop. According to the notice, the bus was going to be 30 minutes late today. Her day just couldn't get any worse. She felt serious cramps. Her whole body ached in pain. She was so sure she got her periods. There were no public bathrooms around here. She desperately needed to check her clothes as well. In here, standing like a statue, she didn't know what to do. She couldn't help but keep looking around in case anyone was staring at her. It was embarrassing and awkward. Moreover, the pain was killing her. She just couldn't stand anymore. Slowly, as the time passed by, only 10 minutes on the clock, but it felt like 10 hours. She forgot about embarrassment. The pain was so visible on her face, she wanted to cry out. Vine saw students from her own school gathering around the bus stop. It couldn't get any worse. She usually took the bus earlier to avoid bumping into students. She liked peaceful and quiet travel. Slowly, she stepped back, getting in the corner against the pole, not wanting to attract any attention. Vine, Lord, please save me from this, and I'll finish my assignments daily. She prayed. The bus finally arrived. Everyone was busy, laughing, some talking about schoolwork, some about food, some about parties, like no worry about life. Vine got on as well, immediately going all the way to the back. She couldn't sit, so she stood there feeling her legs about to break any minute. She needed something distraction. As if her prayers were heard, the whole bus was suddenly quite loud. Everyone pointing out, gasping in shock and awe. When Vine looked out, she found a black, sexy bike and a ride covered in their college uniform. Everyone knew who he was. Everyone ruled over him, from girls to boys. They all were crazy about him. About his looks, about his personality, the confidence, the boldness, the strength. He was above them all, the Jungkook. Just riding past all the students on the bike made them screaming out in awe. He was like a star personality of the whole college, even if he always did his best to avoid people. Thanks to him, Vine got distracted and they arrived at college. She got off the bus immediately, everyone got off and rushed inside, towards the bathroom first. Once again, thanks to Jungkook, all attention was on him and she easily escaped. She kept looking around. Every time she heard someone's laugh, she thought they were laughing at her. Before she could proceed any further, she halted, feeling a presence around her. a jacket wrapping around her lower waist. It was a boy's jacket of their school uniform. He came up in front of her. Vine's heart started to pound in her chest crazily when he stood there, so close to her, leaning near her body, and tied the knot in front of her. Vine, how did you escape them all? She asked in a low, breathless tone. Jungkook, wasn't too hard. I'm used to it. He looked up at her. There was no expression of judging or teasing her in any way. Jungkook, I'll wait outside the washroom. Once you're done, come out. Vine didn't ask another question as she rushed to washroom immediately. Jungkook got surrounded by students again. Elsa, we were playing a game. Whoever wins will get to ride on your bike. How's that? Jay is going to hate it if a guy wins it. Everyone seemed pretty pumped up, ready to even kill each other for just a chance to ride with him on his bike. Elsa, would you like to watch, darling? She traced her finger on his arm. Jungkook jerked her hand away, slipping his hands in his pockets. Jungkook, whatever you do, keep me out of your sick games. Next time you involve me without asking me, you're going to pay for this. His glare was ice cold, surely a glare which said he was not bluffing. He turned around and walked away, but even with that threat, no one was going to hate him. They were just crazy about him. He sneaked in quietly, walking all the way to the ladies' washroom. One was embarrassed. How there blood spots on her clothes. She took some time, but when she came out, she found him against the wall, patiently waiting for her. They knew each other. They used to be neighbors before Jungkook's parents shifted to be a better residence. But Vine and Jungkook remained in contact. As kids, they played together. As they grew up, they studied together. Bunked classes, outings, fun, they did it all together. Vine, I return your jacket after I wash it. Jungkook, keep it. Wear it when you're cold. He walked over to her and fixed the jacket around her waist and looked in her eyes. Jungkook, skip school. You're in pain. As much as she didn't want to, she knew she can't do much about it. So she nodded, barely standing on her feet at this point. Jungkook held her hand intertwining fingers. Her heart raced. If they went out like this, everyone was going to talk about them. She looked at his back. As he guided her out, he knew what he was doing. He always tried to avoid attention. Then why was he doing this now? Vine's cheeks heat up, and Jungkook smirked. Oh lord, he was going to tease her now. As soon as they stepped out, Vine found a whole bunch of students surrounding a car taking its pictures. It was a pretty car after all. Jungkook casually walked past them all, held open the car door for her, who quietly got inside. Screams. They heard legit loud screams of girls. Without a care, he got in as well, and the car left. He didn't care if he broke the hearts of 100 of them. One, look at them, breaking their little hearts. Jungkook, that was overdramatic. I never gave any of them any signal. Can they just mind their own business? One, first, you were just famous for your looks. Then you beat up three bullies, and now you're famous overall. Can't escape easily. He exhaled and shifted closer to Wine, wrapping his arm around her. Wine, didn't you come on a bike? Jungkook, I called the car. You were in pain. She smiled softly, placing her head on his chest. Jungkook, what's that? He teased her further, leant down, and sniffed her hair. He loved it. Fresh scents. One curled her fist. He was that man everyone was crazy after. But he was here, with her, holding her, melting her. Wine, Jungkook? She whispered when he slowly moved his face in the nape of her neck and pulled her even closer. Jungkook, Mom's tired on a trip. You can stay at my home. Wine, for what? She said a little loudly, pushing him back. He burst out laughing at her, panic faced and defense, those cute arms wrapping around herself. Jungkook, I didn't mean that. What's wrong with your brain? Fine, stop. If you ask like that, what else is there to think? Jungkook, come on, princess. You have already promised to marry me. Fine. We'll see when the time comes. I might change my mind. Shitty. But that was when the air shifted. He was no longer in a soft mood. Those icy eyes softened her up. As she wrapped her arms around him. Fine, I'm sorry. I won't tease you about that again. Jungkook, never. You were and will always be mine.